Hi, everybody, by the way. We are actually in the studio today, and...
Were we in the studio last week?
Well, we were in the studio last week, but we were on the green screen.
Okay.
We were always in the same studio.
Right.
Okay. But the difference is last week I showed, we gave it away, but last week we showed you how the green screen worked. Well, now this is the set that we're going to use for Mistletoe Magic, and we are going to do it live here without crowds. So you can watch it online on All About Hennessey's Facebook page live, and if you win. And they're giving away like $5,000.
Wow.
If you win, you just go to the town hall and get your prize there. But this is what you call a hard set or a practical set. It's actually here. See? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then go to the wide camera. You see up there, you can see the whole studio.
Okay.
So that's the difference between the way we normally do it and today. And the only reason we're doing it like this today is because I didn't want to take this apart too. And then also we've messed with the parade this year.
Okay.
We didn't talk about that last year. Well, we weren't here last week.
No, it's been a full week with the Thanksgiving time.
That's right. They were on Thanksgiving vacation.
Right.
The parade, what we're doing with the parade is we're taking the parade to the people rather than the people having to go to the parade.
I heard that.
So we're going to be gathering at the pool
okay.
over near the school.
Right.
And then we're going to be escorted up and down all of the side streets by a Hennessey police officer. And so if you just want to join in, decorate your car, put some lights on it, put some music really loud, and then the rear will be brought up by Santa Claus on a fire truck.
Okay.
And he'll be throwing out candy canes to kids. So you can have your kids just come out in your front yard. Mm-hmm. And we're going to publish a map here any day now so you know what the route is. So if it doesn't go down your street, you can just go a street over or something. Right. Yeah.
Good. Very nice.
So no Main Street. Parade will not go
down
Main Street.
How are the streets decided on what streets you went down?
Well, we'd worried a little bit. For example, we can't go into Ike's Acres because we can't turn around.
Okay.
But we can go through Miller Heights where it's a circle.
Sure.
And so and then the size of vehicles. For example, the band was considering putting the whole band on a semi. Right. And I said, no, you can't make some sharp turns with the semi. Right. So, but we are going to go to both east and west sides of town, so you don't have to go very far from home enjoy the parade. We'll bring the parade to you.
And last night, at the ball game, the pep band was rocking it. They were sounding good. They were sounding really good.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of firsts. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. In fact, last night was the first high school
home game. Yeah,
yep.
And we are undefeated this year.
They kicked butt.
Yeah, Fairview's
first game
as well.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, it was. I'm amazed at the balance, the dexterity that Coach Sang has wearing high heels to coach in. I heard it didn't last all game though, so but I to walk in them is a feat.
It hurts me to see her walk. Never mind stomping her foot to get the players' attention
or the referee's attention. So
that's really fun.
Yeah, I was outstanding. A lot of firsts happened in the idea of it being an event center. Really, I think was more evident with some of the superfluous things that were going around. That Coach Hicks was working through some proof of concept stuff for maybe allowing for ads and some stuff like that, and it was just a good night. It really was. There was a lot of things that went well. But Todd Cameron just deserves a huge pat on the back. Rayanne Fuchsa and Matthew, they run the scoreboard, but the complexity. It's not that it's just like really really hard to do what it does, but there's so much that it does. And there were some little things at the end of the quarter. The time was running down, and we had a player make a shot, so they did a graphic up on the screen. Well, the score and all that goes off. The time stays up, but you don't know what the score is or anything like that. So we need to maybe be more selective at the end of quarters, the end of the half, end of the games, what we put on the scoreboard and some stuff like that. All learning.
I was involved with you in getting the big screen and all that kind of stuff set up. But I don't have a clue how to run that thing. Yeah. It is pretty complex. Yeah. It all runs on an iPad, but it does so many things that
well, one's doing scoreboard, one iPad's doing called the producer iPad, and that's where you get all the graphics and all the stuff that shows up that enhance the experience. So, at some point when it flies into halftime, we're going to have videos and ads and things like that that'll be a part of that.
Yep.
So again, they got off to a really good start. But again, kudos to and Jackie Buchanan helped them, I know, a lot. Get like right now, I think every game that we play is already in the system to where when it comes game time, because it keeps everybody's stats on the fly.
Build it out, and that's a great
so
idea.
they put a lot of time in it.
Todd asked me the other day, did I have video of any of the basketball players, and of course, we just had still photos. So
Right.
I guess when they talk about a player, they can put him or her
Hit them up on, absolutely, and they were. That was what was coming up. So like when they hit a shot, the player's picture comes up and it kind of does a little dazzle thing and goes out. Well, it shows what the time is left, but then it shows the player's name, their number, and the number of points they had, and it stays up just for 3 to 5 seconds. But if that's at the end of the game, are you 2 points behind? Are you 3 behind? What is it going to take? And
the game doesn't wait for the scoreboard to get going.
No,
again.
they don't stop. They keep it going. So, but again, those guys are just they're just fantastic, and couldn't do without them.
Did you know this is our 21st show?
Fantastic.
And we've only skipped one. I guess it was for Thanksgiving. Was the only dropout of this. Would have been 22. Yeah.
Very nice.
It's pretty amazing to think that we've been doing this for that long.
Yeah. Amazing is probably one of the few words used. Painful comes to mind.
Don't go when we're done here. Hang on, because Beth Curran, our Hennessey school. I guess is it more than high school, or is she just high school?
High school and middle school.
High school and middle school art teacher / like 9 other things will be here.
Oh gosh, yearbook, cheerleader.
Yeah,
I can't
photography.
Even name. Yeah,
art. Yeah,
I think the photography kind of rolls in with the
part of art.
other the art, and but it kind of marries the art / yearbook, because you
good point.
couldn't put them together. And
good point.
She's written several grants and got another one just here. Not in addition to the HESF grants, she got one through the Oklahoma Art Council, and again,
that's like real money. That's good money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very cool.
Yes.
So, all right, we'll hang out and we'll talk to Beth.
Worth the wait
when we wrap up here. So, what do you got cooking?
Well, so there's a lot of stuff going on with CDC. Kind of can say that for last, I suppose. Donors Choose, again, remind everybody this is the giving season. I think yesterday was Giving Tuesday. That's an actual name of it, Giving Tuesday. And it's a great time. We encourage the teachers to put that really big project on there. There are folks, Stephen Colbert was one, the Microsoft guy and his wife, what's his name?
Bill Gates.
Yes, Melinda.
Bill and Melinda
Gates.
Yep.
Their foundation. They flash fund. They just go in and they fund every project that's open on Facebook, on Donors Choose. So if whatever your project is, we kind of say put something on there that's just that little special thing. So if that happens, you hit a home run. So
now did Patrick Courtney, the broadcast teacher, was that one of his?
He got one. He's gotten several. Some for golf, some for his class. But I think he got a $30 to $100 camera.
Yeah, we're talking like $4,000 worth of stuff.
And the really good thing about it is that while the school gets a $4,000 camera for no money, we do then pay the person that wrote it, if it's an approved grant. They get a 25% stipend. So he got 25% of that camera cost as a stipend. So the teacher gets to make a little extra money. Mm-hmm. The school gets some really good equipment that they're going to use because they had to write a grant or write a Donors Choose project to get it. Mm-hmm. And the kids benefit from having the opportunity to have that type of equipment to work with. So it's really a good deal all the way around.
Has this taken the place of the bake sales and things like this for the most part?
I would love to say yes, but I would indeed have to say no, because
I know there was a discussion about
to
that,
do that. But... Yeah, and yes, and as we, I think what I hope to see happen with the event center is that if we have people come in and want to do events, that they will want a concession stand and place to get stuff throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And so that next time someone says, "Hey, I'd like to do a cookie sale or something of that nature," a candy bar thing, that we say, no, have this concession stand and this concession stand, and they would make their money off out of town folk instead of always just using the same folk here. So
recycling the same money, and you can bring in some new money.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Coach Hicks has been working really hard on that. to expand the things that we can do. Everyone gets the concession stand ones and stuff like that, but then we have some areas that we can set up that would work as a potential booth. So if you wanted to, hawk the All About Hennessey newspaper, you could set up a booth. You make a donation to the athletic department, and so that's a different way to raise some funds from that same event. So, and
then you're going to have a lot of other events. For example, if when wrestling gets going, there could be tournaments and things like this.
Absolutely.
That they could.
Yeah, those little fellas, you get them in a pair of tights and they get real aggressive, and so we throw them out on a mat, make some money off of them. Absolutely, no better way to do it. All right, we need to clear something up.
Okay.
The whole sang dilemma.
I kind of messed up.
Need to clear that.
I don't know if I messed up, but
it was
mess me up or something.
It was a joint effort.
Okay.
But it is SENG.
Okay.
I wouldn't be messing with it, but she's undefeated.
Good point.
So
she's.
got
We're
a
talking
little more
about the new Hennessey High School girls basketball coach.
Yes.
She was here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, she was on the show.
Yeah.
And so, but it sounds more like sang. It's SENG, but it's not exactly like, it's SING is sing,
okay.
SANG is sang, but she's right in the middle. So it's kind of a blend of both. So
what is it?
Well, you got to say like sang, but you don't say it with a full A sound. You got to say it more like a hard E sound.
Let the A slide a little.
Yeah, something like that. But I wanted to make sure that everyone understood the right name, so no one's calling her Coach Sing like I was for a good long time. So donors choose. Go out and see if there's a project you feel like supporting. Those are tax deductible. Again, that's why they get flash funded at this time of the year. And so much extent, everyone's looking up. Here comes our tax time.
There. So. And the link is in the description of this video, so you can just click on it and search Hennessey, and then see what's cooking.
You'll see all of them in there.
All right.
School calendar. We've got a lot of adjustment going on with basketball schedules, games, and they're getting rescheduled and stuff. So. Get online and check that basketball schedules out.
We're trying to keep the allaboutHennessey.com website calendar updated, because I do know that the athletic calendar is now in like 3 different places. It's not one like it used to be, so it's a little hard to find. So we're trying to keep up with that. And so if you go to our website, you should be able to see all of them, all of the different
see where all the information is.
Yep.
So you can check that out as well if you want to come to a game. Again, had a great crowd last night. Really a good crowd. Everyone is working with us when they're in the common areas, in the lobbies, the bathroom areas, the concession areas. Most folks wore a mask and didn't really have an issue with it.
I didn't get to go. Mariana went and shot.
I saw Mariana out there.
It was senior night.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Very
Congratulations
to the seniors and all that are wrapping up their high school careers. It was very well done. They always do a good job with that sort of. And you know who was there shooting some pictures?
Beth.
Exactly right.
Mrs. Curran.
Who was going to be on later.
A little bit later.
Yeah. So you think she'll take any of your pictures?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So
if she's there, I trust she does a really good job.
She does.
She really
very
does.
nice.
Yeah.
So something we've been waiting for, the walking track is functioning.
Yes, we've talked about it, and now it is actually open and in use.
And there's a very nice young lady whose name escapes me right now, but she is sitting up there right at this moment, waiting for folks to come in and walk.
So run up there to the Dome, the Hennessey Eagle Event Center. And get signed up.
And
now, can she sign you up in the evening?
She can. Yes, you can sign up when you get there. So what we want you to do is when you're going to come up and walk is to put your name and an emergency contact number on a card, and then we'll laminate it and we'll put it on a lanyard, and you can either get it and take it with you, or you can just leave it there and we'll give it to you when you come in. And so since there is no game tomorrow here, we're going to actually open it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All 3 days it will be available. And you can sign up again there on site, or you can come in during the day. We have some other folks who don't get enough recognition, are Timberly, Randy, and Ginger. They just really take care of business. So if you want to come in and sign up, they'll get you fixed up, and you can come up then the next day, and you don't have to stop and sign everything up. You just come and start walking around.
Very cool. And you get to see the new office, the new superintendent's office.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice place.
Unless the door's closed.
Good point.
Because then I'm taking a nap.
Yep.
So I turn up. I think I told you. I tell them I'm having a video conference. I just turn up Fox News. Works like a charm.
Perfect.
30 minutes later, you're refreshed.
My
and ready.
trick. Yeah.
You're ready to go. So you can come in the front doors.
Okay.
They're the only ones that'll be open to come in and do the walking. You can't come in the side or the back doors. We want to make sure that stays closed up. And kids, little kiddos, you can't just drop your bike or your skateboard off and go run around the event center. You have to be with an adult if you're like under 18. If you're not haven't graduated, you can't just come up and the floor is not open and available at this time. Just the walking track.
You know what we need, and you might have already thought about this, is a bike rack outside there. Because I noticed that some kids like leave the bike while it's still moving and like run, and the bike kind of crashes off and lands on the sidewalk or crash somewhere, and someone's going to fall over. It would be cool to have a bike rack.
It would. Although that would almost be like inviting them.
Good point.
If you put in a bike rack out there, it's like, hey, park your bike here and come inside and get in trouble. So I don't know. I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up with Coach Hicks. We'll walk through that because it would be like, I know we have some teachers that ride bikes, you know, and in the spring and the summer and some I'm sure in the fall. So it would probably be a good idea to have that up there.
Well, especially when it gets warmer. I would think a lot of kids and mothers and parents and whatever would ride their bike up and have a place to put it. So
absolutely. Good. And then if tomorrow, like if overnight it gets bad, the weather gets bad, we have sent everybody's device home with them. All the kiddos took their iPads and their Chromebooks and all that stuff with them. No chargers. I know that's the question that's coming up in everybody's mind around the TV right now. Did they get some chargers? No, we have not yet. But we are going to. We are going to get extra chargers. One of the things that messed us up is they changed the charger configuration on the Chromebooks, so now the ones that we have 1,000 of don't work anymore with the first graders and the ninth graders. New
it's like Chromebooks. When you buy a new cell phone, you got to buy all new chargers and stuff because nothing works anymore.
So if it's bad tomorrow, we'll call the school about 5 a.m. I don't know if everyone knows.
This is actually today.
That's right.
We're filming on Wednesday.
So they would already know this,
probably,
because it would have already happened by the time.
Correct.
When are you going to release this?
This is going to release tomorrow morning. So
tomorrow morning.
You're watching this on Thursday morning.
Okay.
Yes.
So this will all be a rehash of what just happened.
Right, but I think it's important for people to know that this time you looked way ahead and you sent out the message telling them what will happen if this
potential.
Yeah.
So they can have their babysitters and childcare stuff all lined up. They'll have everything, the snacks all laid out and all that sort of stuff. And
the snacks.
If their kids are left there, they could leave food out
like that.
They can leave. Okay, now you'll be going door to door.
Yeah. Hey, are you here?
Yeah. Got any snacks?
What do you got?
So if Thursday, if again you'd have already got the phone call, because we usually are out around 4 a.m. Gary Beeman lives out west by Lacey, so he gets to check the west side of the district, and I'll take the east side. And we do that usually around 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5 a.m., so we can let everyone know about 5 a.m. what we're going to do. But if we do that again, we've done some adjustments from the time we spent with the ice storm. We realized that we need a hard and fast schedule when people know they need to line up and sign on, and we need to try to calculate that to where teachers can still be with their kids, because they're home with them now, but still serve the students from the school. So we've tried to set up a schedule that would allow that to happen.
Just like school.
Yes.
At this time of day, you go to
Here's
English.
Your time.
This time you go to
that
makes sense.
Kind of is different for upper grade levels and lower grade levels. But again, we only have 4 snow days or inclement weather days, and we're just into December.
Yeah.
And you know what January and February can be like.
January and February.
So we want to save those days as best we can.
So we don't have to stay in school till
exactly.
July.
We'll still be out May 5th or 8th, whatever that day is. So that's why we can use that as a virtual day. But we get some good out of it as well, because that's where the calendar idea came from, and the things that we're have adjusted come from those practice days. So
very cool.
All right, that's about all I got about that. I do have some CDC and COVID stuff.
Okay.
I guess the first one, I'm not sure if everyone has heard about, but there's been some discussion. They had the Mustang school superintendent was on today on Channel 9 with, I think, Superintendent Hoffmeister and some others that were talking about quarantining on site, quarantining on the school site. And because there were some
What do you
schools.
do, wrap the kid in bubble wrap or
Well,
something?
no, that's not on here. But maybe it was
That's the way I do it.
Maybe it was an oversight.
Yeah.
But what they were wanting to do is allow the students to stay on site where they've got our supervision, but they were quarantined. And there's to be able to do that, you have to meet a few conditions, and one of them is have space available. Well, we could use the auditorium lobby, and the seminar room if we needed to, because they want you to space people out at least 6 foot and do all that. Because again, everyone there that would be in the quarantine area has been exposed. They're all close
they've got the
contact.
antibodies,
so they
and-
could.
yep.
Well, they could be potentially testing positive soon themselves because they've been exposed to somebody who did test positive. That's how they get in the quarantine pool.
Okay.
So, but some of the drawbacks are the auditorium's not really set up well to be working on a paper because it's just chairs, there's no desktops, and again, you can't use the lobby and the seminar room by themselves because we had up to 70 kids quarantined at one time.
Oh.
So
Okay.
you would just space wouldn't be available, and so we could probably make it work. But again, that's one of the requirements is you have plenty of space. The kids have to stay in that space the whole time. Excuse me. The good thing about the auditorium areas are the restrooms are right there in the lobby, so that would be.
Could you actually
consent.
use the auditorium itself?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And then use the big projection screen as your screen?
Well, but the idea is when you're sitting in the chair and you're trying to write, if you were writing a paper,
You'd have to
taking
have
notes.
A way to, yeah.
Yeah, and again, this would be everybody. So we have kids that are from, we may have kindergartners even that have been quarantined up to seniors. Not really a good mix to have because the demands are just so different. And so we could maybe have a couple different classroom support personnel could possibly fill the supervision role. But again, you have to have someone that supervises them, and they have to be in the space all day. They have to eat in the space. They have to, the bathrooms have to be set aside for them. But here's the one that really got me was that, because I think we can make most of them work if we needed to. But the one that got me was that the students had to be tested repeatedly on day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 7, day 10, day 12, and day 14.
Who's going to do all that?
Well, that's one of the issues. And we weren't. The next line talks about the school must have a CLIA waiver number, which we don't have yet, but we have applied for. But that would mean that Nurse Shelley, who is another one of those in the Todd Cameron, Ray line of doing yeoman's work, she has really stepped up and taken care of this, and so she would be the one that would have to do those tests. So I just said we had about 70 kids, all right? So if you think about that, they've been tested on day 2, day 3, the amount of time that would take. Plus, there are folks who are just not crazy about their kids being tested like that.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue that we're working through. We have to report the results daily, and then anyone who tests positive then in that quarantine pool has to, of course, then go
Now,
home
of
to
course,
isolation.
these would be people that have tested positive but aren't showing symptoms.
No, nobody in the quarantine pool has tested positive. They just have been close contact.
Gotcha. They fit
like,
that close contact.
You had it. Let's say you tested positive. Everybody that was a close contact, you would go into the quarantine pool.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's how you get in it. But then they've been exposed, so the likelihood is that they will test positive and then have to go home to isolation.
Okay.
Then
So if you have been positive, you're out.
Right. You
gotta
can't
go
stay
home.
if you're positive.
I gotcha. Okay.
The issue with that is, again, we said we had about 70 kids. Right now, we have the most 2-3 a week, right? I've given you guys those reports, and I think a big week is 4 or 5. About 20% of the tests have been kicking out a false positive. So if you took 70 kids, that's what, 13 and a half, something like that. So, no, that'd only be 27. So
You're
anyway,
doing math. You lost me. Hello.
Where's my phone? But if you just look at the number of possible false positives that would be kicked up, it would shoot our number of cases of positive tests way up, and it would not be a real representation of the actual situation on site. So the testing is just the physical labor involved with that, and the potential for false readings involved with that. I think that's the biggest concern. The biggest concern I have. Students wouldn't be permitted to do any participate in extracurriculars, ride buses, attend school events, or any other situations where they would come with non-quarantine personnel. Basically, they got to come in and out on their own. Does that mean a parent would go home, take one child home, then come back and get the quarantine kiddo? They got to go through the line twice, and then you got the quarantine kid hopping in the car with the unquarantined. So it's just got some issues. And then again, they have to provide the supervision.
You know, this is dumb Jack talking, but it just sounds like with the we have so few cases that this just might be just way too much.
Yeah, and that's kind of my final when we got all the way through this and we'd worked it all out. It only goes to December 23rd. Well, we're out December 18th anyway, so you only had 15 school days.
Yeah.
By the time we get the CLIA approval, we're probably down to 6-7 school days is all we have left. So my suggestion is going to be that we just
table that one for a bit.
Watch what happens. Let's see what they learn from it. Let's see what changes come out of it, and then when we get back in January.
Well, and a lot will be determined by the big scare coming back from Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, you won't know what that really happened for at least a week, I guess. But
yeah, and again, then we're almost out anyway.
Yeah.
So to change that at that late time is probably not a good idea. So if you have any more questions about that, again, send me an email. I think there's some ways we could quarantine on site that would make a little more sense. Of if you're going to test them like that, let's just quarantine them in the classroom. They can stay in the classroom with their teacher. They can still get all their instruction. We just monitor them closer with, constant temperature checks, which we're already doing through the system in the school. Plus, the teachers know those kids. They know them as well as the parents in some cases, maybe better.
How he's doing.
They see you every day. If you're dragging a little bit, if you're not quite yourself, send them to the nurse, have them tested. If they test positive, then we send them home. But I think that would be a better plan, and I will probably suggest that at some point.
So what's the OSSBA talking about here?
So,
What
one
is
of the things
OSSBA?
Oklahoma State School Board Association.
Okay.
So one of the biggest challenge we face is the number of students who are sent out due to close contact. Back to you're positive, but everybody you've been around that meets the criteria has to go home and be quarantined as well. You're actually supposed to go home and be isolated. They're supposed to be going home and be quarantined. Well, originally, if you were a close contact, you could go get wait 2 days, go get a negative test, and we'd let you back in school. Then there came the CDC, that's who makes these rules. We were told under no certain terms that the school was not an authority at determining public health matters. So we do not get to determine these things. These are given to us, and we abide by them or get chastised in some way. So now the new rule is that a person can end self-quarantine at 7 days after the exposure if they have if they test negative and have no symptoms. So now at 7 days, if you test negative and you don't have any symptoms, the typical symptoms would be the fever, loss of sense and smell, and body aches would be kind of the big three. So if you don't have any of those symptoms, then you can actually go back in 7 days.
Okay.
So that was a change. It's about half the time. It's been the 14 days. And then, so then you could also, without a test, go for 10 days, which is the length of time that somebody who's actually been tested positive has been quarantined for 10 days. Well, now, if you're just a close contact and you quarantine for 10 days, you can go back to school and be monitored for symptoms. Now, my idea was, why not just leave them in there the whole time if all they were close contact? We'll monitor them. Yeah. So, but anyway, they've got it set at 10 days now. So,
and this changes like every week.
It does, and it puts us in such a spot because, and this is retroactive, so everybody that is quarantined now will be able to fall under these guidelines. So you probably want to check with Nurse Shelley. Check with Nurse Shelley and make sure when your return date would be with the new
Any
guidelines.
questions? Ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please ask first, and don't like send your kids to school and then call and say, "Was that okay?" Do it. Ask first, and so we don't get ourselves in a jam.
Yes.
So then it also says when a shortened quarantine is placed, the following also should be in place through the 14-day after exposure, daily symptom monitoring. That's all, that whole deal. If you get back in 10 and you still monitor for the rest of the time. But those have been by far the two biggest changes. Was the 7-day with a negative test you can come back, and then the 10-day with no symptoms. You don't have to have a test at the 10-day. You just have to have 4 days, or have to have 10 days with no symptoms, and then the extra 4 days with monitoring. You can be back at school.
This makes my head hurt. I mean, this is what you do all day long. It seems like you've got to just do this dance.
It's a challenge, because what I hate is we've upset families' whole way of doing business for 2 weeks, and now we can change that to now it's like a week, and so it kind of, people start looking at us with a little critical eye, maybe of
it's coming from
didn't
above.
really know what we were doing, but
yeah, it's coming. It's not happening here.
No,
it's coming
and
from
Shelley,
above, so.
Shelley is so conscientious, and we talk about the fact that our goal is what can we do to keep the kids in school? How can we do this? How can we approach it? How can we gauge it, monitor it, capture it, whatever it is? How can we do it so the kids stay in school? Because that's the benefit, is being in school. So we try to do everything we can. Just real quickly, they're thinking that by Christmas we're going to have some vaccine available, and they've given the guidelines for that they're going to do nursing home, assisted living, long-term care facility staff, public health staff, and conducting COVID-19 activities, healthcare workers. Phase 2 are going to be the folks that most of those folks work with, the nursing home residents, first responders, adults, people that are in care. And they have, but that's on the guidelines are all out there as well on who gets the vaccines first. If you're going to even take the vaccine. Some folks aren't going to take the vaccine.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yes, absolutely. I have not. I don't know if you should say this on TV, but I've not ever taken the flu shot.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So
I haven't either. I know my wife has taken it and gotten sick. So it's just,
that's why they call it a flu shot.
What do you do? Yeah,
it
gives you the flu.
Gives you the flu. I know what they're doing. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out over time with the new CDC guidelines and the vaccine. I hear that the time frame is still like another full year of dealing with this.
Yeah, I had no doubt. I thought this is going to drag on with vaccines or not. We're in this thing for a little bit.
So
all right,
I think that's all I got,
Jack. Is
that
a wrap? Yeah. Very good. All right, don't go away. Beth Curran will be here shortly, and
worth the wait.
We'll have some fun. Be sure to head over to allabouthennessy.com and sign up for your free edition of the Hennessey Post. And we're back. And I have longtime friend Beth Curran. And tell us about what do we figure you have 6 or 8 jobs?
Oh, yeah, I have quite a few little hats.
You do. Your official title is art teacher.
Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
so you do.
So under that umbrella is art and photography and yearbook for the teacher. And then I do Hennessey High School cheerleaders, the junior class sponsor, senior class sponsor. Yeah. And the prom organizer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, you just needed that one more thing.
Yeah, just that one thing.
And then even on top of that, she helps us out with All About Hennessey. Whenever like a football game is way far away, Beth jumps in, and because she's
that's my true love, photography.
Awesome photographer. So yes, I can count on her to get me some good stuff. How do you do it all? You have so many things. I mean, when do you get to go home? You don't. Home.
I live at school. Don't you know teachers live at school?
That's true. She's like me, where we just fall in bed at night and get up and do it again the next morning. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Now, you just won like a major award, some kind of a grant. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we applied last year and this year and got it awarded both times. It's a $500 grant for the Oklahoma Arts Council. For general classroom supplies. So that
you
really
can do anything you
helps us
want
out.
with it, really.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, art was like you got paper and you cut things out with made squares and glued them on with paste, and I would eat the paste. That's good stuff. I'm assuming art has progressed a little since then.
We're trying to bring a lot of new things. Our teacher before me started an awesome ceramics program.
That's right. You have where the old wood shop, for old timers like me. where the old wood shop was.
Bob Dell's Wood Shop
Yep.
is now the art
Yep.
program.
It's where you've
So,
got all
yeah.
of the ceramic, you got kilns
We have
and
2 kilns.
the wheels.
We have a glass kiln for melting glass. We have pottery wheels. We have all kinds of fun toys. We've got airbrushes and all kinds of
That is
just fun toys.
cool. Okay, we'll see. They don't have woodworking anymore, but you can make pretty much anything out of ceramics and things like that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Painting is one of their favorite things to do.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're is your degree in art? What is it? What is your degree?
Actually, my degree is in elementary education.
Okay.
So I was a pre-K kindergarten teacher for 10 years.
Someone mentioned that the other
previously.
day, and I thought, I've only known Beth as the art teacher. So wow. So you've been in the school 100 years?
Yeah.
How long have you really been there?
I think next year will be 15, so this may be 14.
Was this your first teaching job?
No, I taught in Enid for 1 year before this.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And are you a Hennessey native? I guess I never asked you that.
sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
I technically started in the Covington Douglas School District,
Mm-hmm.
but my family lives just across the pond this creek from
Mm-hmm.
Hennessey, so I transferred here when I was in 7th grade and graduated in 95.
Wow. Very, very cool. If you want to see Beth in her band uniform, didn't you win
yes.
state or something? What is
Well,
it?
I was
What
in the
that for?
OSU band, and so they put us at whenever you go to
really?
college band, you get to have your
It's in the
honorary
cafeteria,
photo.
isn't it? Where's the?
No, it's in the auditorium. My band photo.
That's it. In the hallway in the auditorium is Beth's picture of her in band. I was walking by
Go
it
Pokes.
recently, and it was like, yeah, okay, that's her. Very cool.
Yep.
So, tell us what you've been doing. I know, just the cheerleaders alone keep you like really busy. My wife Lisa and I were. Well, Lisa was the cheerleader. Well, then it was called cheerleader sponsor. Now you're a cheerleader coach. Is that what?
Well, technically, yeah, you have to do all the classes to be a coach. So technically, you're a coach.
Okay, well, I didn't have to do that. I just drove the bus. And it was a lot of fun going to a game because the girls will be just having a lot of fun, and on the way home, they're all asleep. So it's like,
Now, it's kind of opposite now. They sleep on the way and party on the way home.
really? Well, that's helpful because you're worn out. It's like 11 o'clock at night when you're trying to drive home from Tulsa or somewhere. And,
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
they
that's
keep
pretty
it
cool.
lively.
Yes. Then now you have a fundraiser going on uptown. Tell us about that.
Well, before that,
Okay.
we have a new program for cheer. It's a POM program. So we have a few girls that have started our new HHS POM
Mm-hmm.
squad, and they had their first performance last night.
At the first basketball game.
Yes, and we're planning another Christmas little ditty at the game on the 14th.
Very
So
cool. Now,
Come
isn't-
and support our new POM squad on the 14th.
Isn't Ivan that works for us, his wife,
Yes.
Sadie?
Sadie.
Yes. Does that.
Sadie is amazing, and we're ready for her to have her dance studio open.
She is building this amazing, like, big city kind of dance studio on the east side of town,
And she says
west side of town. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be open just after the first of the year, I think.
That's what I've heard. Yes, and she said that it's going to be not just for kids but for adults too.
Yeah, we won't see me
grown-up
there, but I'll go
dance
take
class.
pictures. Yes. That is cool. That is neat that you have an asset like that here. Because a lot of schools, I remember, when Lisa and I were doing this, we'd have to bring OSU cheerleaders in or something like that to help with some of these projects. And
Yes.
it is so cool you've got somebody right here.
Yeah, we lucked out finding her this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very neat. Okay, so now you have a fundraiser going on
Yes.
uptown. Tell us about that.
We've done this is probably our 4th or 5th year, but the art classes go uptown and we paint windows for the holidays.
Christmas window decorations.
Yes, Christmas
yeah.
window painting, and we take suggestions. We do winter scenes or Christmas trees or whatever it is.
Now,
that
some
you'd
of them
like to
stay up
do.
till August, so you might want to make it just a winter scene or.
Yeah, if they want it to stay up through January, we usually do snowmen or a winter forest kind of thing. But
That is-
if not, we do happy holidays and gingerbread men and candy canes and
For those of us that wash windows.
yeah.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now,
And all that money stays with the art program. So we get
Oh,
to buy
that's-
more art supplies.
nice. That is
Never
cool.
have too many art supplies.
Well, it's hard, because I remember when I was in school, the schools just gave you that stuff. And now that's all changed. If you want it, you got to kind of go find a way. And these fundraisers and grants and things like this really help you.
Yes, yes, they really do. And when you have to buy art supplies for 80 kids, it gets pricey pretty quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. And then, of course, the photography class, you have like real cameras and real lenses, and I'm envious of some of this stuff. But Beth has this really cool lens. I'm
Just got a new ring light.
waiting for her to set it down somewhere, This is pretty neat. I had no idea. I knew you did a lot of things, but I didn't realize it was that deep. And
I like to be busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And your husband's like this music maniac guy, isn't he?
He does dabble in some music on the
just a
side.
little
He played for the Baptist church for a long time, but he's taken a step back. But he still goes out. He has his little studio that he likes to go out and
He has a studio.
record.
He does music like we do video. Yeah, he's pretty intense with
He
the
likes to
videos,
mix
with
it
music stuff.
and make his own songs.
Very cool. So what else is going on? Anything else we need to talk about as far as all of the many things? Yearbook alone.
Yearbook
Is an
this year
enormous
has
undertaking.
been a lot different. Trying to keep up with all the kids that are virtual and not in school, and how are we going to get their picture?
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that
Who's
part.
wearing masks, and how do you get pictures of people with masks on? So we've had special challenges this year, but
I know. I can always tell when yearbook's starting to deadline because Beth will email me, do you have a picture of this? Or, what do we got? And we trade pictures a lot. Watch out for the snooze, the salad bar thing there. Yeah, so it's fun to, if I need a photo of a football player or something, I know Beth probably has it, and we swap images back and forth.
It's really good help to have extra cameras everywhere.
Yep. Well, you never have enough. And,
No.
and you can't do it all yourself. And I know last year you had 2 boys at football games all the time that were a great help.
And they graduated.
And that's kind of, So do
We
you have
gotta
any
train the new generation.
So do you have any up-and-comers that I might be interested in,
Oh, yeah. We can talk about that later.
Okay, good deal.
We don't want to give away all of our secrets, right?
No, good plan. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to throw out there or let people know about what you do and all of those things that...
I can't think of anything.
That's about it.
Right
She'll think
away.
of 9 more
If you
things when we clear her. but
Probably.
That's okay. I'll put them in the
Contact
description.
me if you want to get your windows painted.
Oh, that's right.
We're
I'll
not
put,
done yet,
I'll put
so.
Beth's email address in the description of this video, and then you can just email her if you're a business owner or what. Do you do houses?
Sure.
I guess you could. If you had big windows or something, she could paint the windows.
And we will come and clean it off afterwards. So lots of the big questions that
Okay,
people
well,
ask. So.
that makes all the, because
Yeah.
like I said, it would stay there till August if I had to do it. So
Yes.
some of that paint's kind of hard to get off. But all right. Well, Beth, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks
and
for having me.
Stay tuned. Nope, no, not stay tuned. We are going to see you next week on the Hennessey Schools Update Show.